Right, so I'm not going to say anything about Rachel Reeves this morning, right, and about politicians playing this. We did that podcast 2 days ago. You might
Yeah.
want to leave a link to
Yeah.
that podcast
Yes.
um, below in the description
Yeah.
because otherwise people watching this podcast will think that I'm trying to blow smoke up the backsides.
Yes.
When we did exactly the podcast about exactly the same thing
Yes.
that people that they're on about in the news at the moment about Rachel Reeves. But anyway,
Yes. Yeah.
let's crack on because it's a bit of a hornet's nest when it comes to daycare facilities,
Hmm.
apparently, and those retirement homes as well. There seems to be a lot of shenanigans going on. If it's not the extremely untrained staff taking their frustration out on the patient, remember those that we know about, or those caught on camera, must only be the tip of the iceberg. We can only hope that the iceberg doesn't go that far down underwater, you know. Um, so we've seen them on the news, and I seem to think I remember uh, very vaguely about a children's home which was closed down because of mistreatment of the admitted children.
Mm.
I can't really put my finger on it, but I seem to
Yeah.
remember it. But anyway, this one in particular is interesting because we don't know why the owners of this old people's home did what they did.
Mm.
Um, the top dogs at the Amberley Care Home in Brierley Hill, West Midlands, stole £175,000 from an elderly patient. Graham and Lynn Walker, 74 and 71 years old respectively, were found guilty of plotting to steal the money along with Jamiel Slamey Summers by faking a will to get access to the life savings of Rita Barnsley at 84 years old after she died. So basically, they forged a will.
Mm.
Uh, don't know why they uh, wanted to do it because he's 74 years old and she's 71. You
Well.
know, I mean,
Yeah. Well.
they're so old themselves, they're trying to steal somebody's money from them. What are they going to do with it?
Mm.
So the scam was exposed by Rita's cousin Werner, who reported the fact to the local watchdog, and in turn they opened an inquiry. Slamey Summers also managed to withdraw £6,000 from Rita's bank account to squander on online bingo. So at least we know what she was doing on the night shift when she was on the night shift at the
Mm.
at the old folks' home,
Yes.
and it wasn't changing the bedpans. So let this serve as a cautionary tale for those who are wanting to place Granny somewhere. She can be well looked after because she might just be that well looked after.
A majority of care homes in the UK are probably well-run establishments. So, thankfully, hopefully, these headlines are far and few between. Um, as to regards, you've mentioned the age of the people concerned, the owners of the premises or the prop of the business. Yeah, I mean, okay, they're in their 70s. They saw an opportunity, they jumped on it. Um, it's immoral, it's unethical, it's a lot of things and highly illegal. They still did it. They chose to do it.
I think
People,
what they used to be up to when they were younger.
well, who knows? Be interesting to do do a complete inspection of them, whether or not that's possible or not. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't do yeah the care home industry any good either. The fact this happens, how to regulate it. Thankfully, in this case, there was a relative of the person who was on the ball enough to realise something wasn't quite right. Yeah, which probably came as a shock for some reason to the people doing the embezzling, or um, yeah, the fact she actually went to the regulator and said it, not directly to the police, means she wasn't sure herself, but could see something wasn't right. She did the relative did everything correctly, in my opinion.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, because sometimes yeah, yeah, it got looked at because you don't know where else, whom else they might be doing this to as well. So there could be more. Yeah.
Well, you don't know if it became a habit, do you? You know,
Well, evidently the bingo was an addiction, it would appear. But yes, um, yes. Unfortunately, there are immoral, unethical people in the world who will do this kind of thing to the vulnerable, and that's what we're talking about. And that's it.
most of them, because they aren't getting any stronger.
Yeah.
Victim is not getting any stronger. It's only going to get frailer and frailer and frailer.
Well, this is it. I mean, obviously, we remember Dr. Shipham some years. Was it Shipham? The doctor who went around getting his elderly patients to change their wills, etc. Yeah, these predators, they prey on these elderly vulnerable, which is, yeah, it's depraved, it's sickening and disrespectful, and obviously affects the families as well. Not always financially, it's a horrible thing to think that, yeah, an elderly relative of yours has been essentially abused.
Used, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously we put our elderly relatives into these care places on a degree of trust. It's not always possible with our lives that, you can go in every day or every other day to check on them. And why would you notice that anyway? Yeah, if and a vulnerable person, if they're unfortunately
Because
it's horrible.
sometimes, yeah, sometimes even the vulnerable person who's being abused is
Mm,
too embarrassed to tell
yeah.
the family because they don't either they just don't they feel impotent,
Mm,
and also they don't want to be any burden
yeah.
on the kids or the relatives, which
Yeah.
is probably put in there in the first place.
Well, yes, they're not. They don't suffer victimhood. That's for certain. A lot of these older people, yeah, they will. Yes, there's a degree of independence about them, which is to be admired, and also, yeah, I mean, it's as I said. I mean, in some cultures, in Brazil, the elderly relative is very often taken into another family home somewhere, or looked after by other members of the family in their own home. That's how it tends to work here. The family become the support, um, and yeah, it's a very it's different culture. Um, that's not to knock the way the British do it. Like you say, the person themselves it may not be totally suitable for an elderly relative to move into a family home, and we're not all trained carers. And yeah, I mean, in Brazil, yeah, they're not trained carers in Brazil, but yeah, they are, family members do see it as part of their job to do this. Um, but it's a tragic case. I hope there aren't many more that are going on. Like you said, you can't be certain.
That's
And
that is the very sad thing about it, you know.
yeah, I mean, these people got caught. Yes, like I said, you'd like to think they're an exception to the rule, not not the normal. But um, again, it's the owners themselves. They they would have had access probably to all sorts of accounts.
All the personal details.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and yeah, I mean, I don't know any way it could be flagged up. Um, I mean, it happens within families, admittedly, where one of the relatives decides to take advantage as well. So nothing's foolproof. But
Oh, I'm all aware of that, my son. I'm more than aware of. Don't you bet your bottom dollar on that. Yeah,
I didn't want to scratch an itch there on you there,
yeah, yeah. Too
but
late. The scabs come off again.
yeah, I mean, yes, I mean, okay, how do you protect yourself against this, and how do you protect your relatives? We're not all lawyers, we're not all accountants. Um, yeah, you can't start paying for, like you say, if you've got somebody who's fiercely independent, you can't say, well, I'm going to get an accountant to look after your accounts for you, because then you've got to be watching the accountant as well. Oh, yes, you have to watch the accountant. Good accountants will send you a report. Bad accountants will know how to keep things hidden.
To be fair on this nursing home, on this old people's home,
Yeah.
nothing said that the old lady, this Mrs. Barnsley,
Mm.
was abused
Yeah.
because all this happened after she died. They
Mm.
just forged a separate will
Yeah.
and thought they could be in for a quick buck. But even so, when you do that sort of thing, like I said, you just don't know how many times they've done it before, and the fact that the three of them that were in on it.
Mm.
I mean, the husband and wife who were the top dogs of the home. You
Yeah.
can understand that them two colluding together, but this
Yeah.
third person, who,
Yeah.
in all intents and purposes, was a manager,
Mm.
and who was siphoning off money, well, whilst the old lady was still alive, so she can play bingo.
Yeah. Well, it's a yeah. Well, you don't know the connection between these people as well. Um,
Clearly,
so hopefully, hopefully they've not been doing it to anyone else or done it to anyone else. Who knows? I mean, the books
that's
would have to
that's
be
all,
open.
that's all we have. Hope.